Hi, I'm Jeremy Surrier. Welcome to Module 1 of CRE Invested. Question is, why commercial real estate? Well, we're going to answer that question, and in the process of answering it, we're also going to talk a lot about what you're going to learn over the next 9 modules in this course. But before we begin, I'd like to kind of get in tune with where you might be and some of the frustrations you might be facing in finding the right deal for you. You're probably tired of looking for deals that make sense. You've probably called brokers and you're finding that your calls aren't being returned, or they're sending you deals that you don't want to buy. There's maybe too much competition for the deals that you're really looking for. You're finding out about deals after they've been done by someone else that you never even had a shot at or even knew may have been on the market. You want to see profitable deals. You don't want to see vacant properties or overpriced dogs. A lot of brokers will send you those. And you've worked with sellers that are really not serious about doing deals with their buildings. So you're probably feeling some frustration here in the fact that you've been looking at the wrong types of deals, or you're just not getting the deal flow that you really deserve to see that will allow you to move closer to what your financial objective is. So what you probably need is a better way to consistently uncover opportunities. You want to deal one-on-one with sellers, preferably off-market, because that gives you the best negotiating advantage. You want deals that meet your financial goals. You want to find more deal flow, period. The more deals that you have to look at, the better the odds are of your picking the ones that are going to be the most profitable for you. You also want to use commercial real estate to achieve financial independence. You're either looking to build a positive cash flow stream or add to a positive cash flow stream that you already have, or you're looking to make big equity hits by flipping deals. We will talk about both in this course, although the majority of the course is geared more toward the cash flow investor. We do talk a bit about flipping in our commercial foreclosure section. We have a flipping component in our case study in Module 10, and we do talk about preparing yourself for a flip in our funding, hard money, transactional funding section in our lending module. Now, this class is not going to be for you if you are only interested in flipping houses. We are not talking about single-family investing in this course. This course is designed for commercial real estate investors. You shouldn't be taking this class either if you need the next deal to pay your rent. If you believe that real estate investing is quick, easy money, this class is not for you. It is not quick, easy money. And if you're not prepared to lose money on a deal, then you probably shouldn't be taking this class. I'm not saying that you should go out and lose money. I'm just saying that any investor who tells you that he or she has not lost money on a deal is probably a liar. And at the end, if you're looking for guaranteed results, this probably isn't the class for you either, because really nothing in life is guaranteed except for death and taxes. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have the 100% foolproof ironclad way for deal sourcing. But what I will tell you is this stuff really does work. If you are on the fence of trying to decide whether you want to be a residential or commercial investor, and you've decided to take this class to learn more about deal sourcing, commercial real estate deal structures themselves, I do invite you to download our free PDF report, Residential versus Commercial Investing. That report gives you tips on how to avoid pitfalls in residential real estate, some exposure to late night techniques that really they're difficult to make happen. They are doable, but we talk about that in the report and how to really do that stuff in commercial real estate. Picking a property type that might be right for you, and ultimately which one makes more money, residential or commercial investing. This class is for you if you're seeking equity hits and long-term passive income gains. You're open to working a proven process. You're open to learning the skills and techniques to generate your own honest and authentic mode of communicating your strategy and your financial target into the market that you're trying to operate in and to acquire assets that you're interested in. You realize that real estate investing is often a long dollar business. It's not necessarily a quick cash business, rather one that is a long-term, long dollar investment where you can make a lot of money and accumulate a lot of wealth. You also understand that you may lose money on a real estate investment in the future. And you believe that what you put energy into ultimately grows. So here's a little bit of information about who I am. My name is Jeremy Serrier. I am a CCIM. That means I am a Certified Commercial Investment Member. This is a designation that I earned by going through about 200 hours of coursework at the CCIM Institute, passing rigorous examinations, and then submitting a portfolio of qualifying experience that was reviewed by the Institute. They gave me the nod, awarded me the designation, and then asked me to come back to audition to become an instructor for the Institute. So I am now one of 85 instructors working for the CCIM Institute. I am a senior instructor. I teach 2 of their 4 courses. I teach their CI 101 course, which is their financial analysis for commercial real estate course, as well as their CI 102 course. That's the market analysis for commercial real estate course. I'm a member of the CCIM Institute Board of Directors, and I'm also the Presidential Liaison in Commercial Real Estate Technology to the 2013 CCIM Institute President. I have trained some of the country's top brokers from Colliers International, CBRE, Newmark Grubb Knight Frank, Jones Lang LaSalle, Avison Young, and NAI. I've also trained corporate real estate executives from McDonald's, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, AutoZone, Behringer Harvard, GE. There's a lot more to that list. And I've also trained employees of the U.S. State Department in commercial real estate financial analysis down in Washington, D.C. Some of the awards I've won, I was awarded the Banker and Tradesman New Leaders in 2009 award. I was winner of the 2010 CCIM Institute's Susan J. Grunewald Award of Leadership Excellence, and I've been featured in the recent book Shift Commercial and Sire Magazine. So a little bit more about me. I also own a commercial real estate brokerage and advisory services firm. I've been in real estate since 1999, and the name of the company that we also own is called Mansard. I've advised assets in excess of $350 million in value across the United States, and I've completed over 450 commercial real estate transactions to date. The institutional real estate market is the market that is most easily tracked and understood. And looking at the overall picture, the United States makes up the largest portion of the commercial real estate market in the world. And as you can see from this chart that I've taken from the EIU, IMF, and Prudential Real Estate Investors Research Brief, you can see the size of the U.S. market when compared to other countries like Japan, China, Germany, the UK, France, so on and so forth. In fact, this list had about 40 countries on it, and I cut a bunch of them off because there wasn't room to fit on the slide. But what you'll see here is that the United States does have a massive commercial real estate market. That's a great thing for you because you reside in a country where 25% of the real estate globally exists. That means there's a lot of opportunity in the U.S., and when you break it down, you'll see here in the chart that there's office, industrial, flex, retail, healthcare, hospitality, mixed use, and multifamily, with office and industrial making up a large portion of this real estate world in the U.S. And then you'll see here that retail makes up another large portion, followed by healthcare. Now this is a shot by square footage. This does not show you the total dollar amount or value for U.S. commercial real estate. Rather, it gives you the amount of real estate in the U.S. by square footage. So what are some of the downsides or cons to commercial real estate? Well, commercial real estate is an illiquid asset. What that means is that it's difficult to get your money in and out of it. It takes time to move the equity, to convert to cash. It's not like going on the stock market and selling a stock that can happen in a few seconds. Selling a piece of commercial real estate could take several months or years. You also have the risk of running negative leverage. Negative leverage means that the property is upside down. It may have more debt than equity or no equity. You could have the negative cash flow problem that you're going to find that does happen quite a bit in real estate, and that is that an owner has borrowed too much money. They're not generating enough income from the tenants they have, and they're coming out of pocket to pay the loan. Not a good place to be. Vacancy can be a big problem in commercial real estate. If you're having tenant problems, you can have vacant space, and even though vacant space isn't generating rent for you, it is costing you in common area maintenance charges, taxes, insurance, utilities, etc. Property management, there are some cons on commercial real estate and property management. It does have to be managed and serviced, and I tell a lot of investors, you may be in the commercial real estate investing business, but at the end of the day, you're really in the tenant services business, and if you have a really good tenant services system in place, whether it's your own management system or an outsourced management company that you've hired, you want to make sure that your tenants are well taken care of, because when your tenants are well taken care of, they're going to take care of you. Tax changes can occur. Back in the 1980s and 1986, the Tax Reform Act was a big problem for commercial real estate owners. They had been taking massive amounts of depreciation on their real estate, and when that was changed, values plummeted, and a lot of owners unfortunately lost their properties and lost a lot of money in the process. So tax changes can impact commercial real estate as well. Space demand changes, for example, office space. I have a very good friend who works for PricewaterhouseCoopers. He works in their office leasing administration department, and he was bragging to me that recently they reduced their office footprint nationally by 900,000 square feet because they've been moving employees out of the office into home offices. So the demand for office space is changing, and when that happens, companies are trying to fit more people into smaller spaces or get people out of the office, reduce their space costs, and have people work remotely from home. Interest rates can be a con to commercial real estate. If you buy in a low interest rate environment like we're in now, and in 10 years you're selling in a higher interest rate environment, that could significantly impact the value of your investment. So interest rates can be a negative. If you go back to the early 80s, we saw interest rates up over 10, 11, 12, 14, 15%. And when that happened, values were impacted negatively. And as interest rates came down, it was easier to borrow money and cheaper to borrow money. People could pay more for real estate. Real estate values went up. So that would have been a pro. But if you were on the other end of that in a high rate environment trying to build wealth, that could have been a difficult place to be. Debt timing can be a problem. In commercial real estate, most loans are 5, 7, or 10-year terms. So you're constantly refinancing your properties every 5, 7, or 10 years, as opposed to a residential loan where you can get a 30-year fixed rate. You know that you're amortizing that loan on an ongoing straight line basis. The commercial loan, however, being refinanced, you're restarting the interest you're restarting the interest clock every time you refinance it. Now, what are the upsides to commercial real estate? Well, there must be some. There are actually quite a few. One of the beautiful things about commercial real estate investing is appreciation. When you're investing in commercial real estate, you have the opportunity to gain from massive appreciation because you're leveraging. And when you're leveraging, you're lifting more or doing more with less. You also have the opportunity to receive durable cash flows and passive income. Now, other than owning stocks or bonds that pay dividends or owning debt that pays you a cash flow, there are not a lot of great investments that you can own that provide you with recurring monthly cash flows, money just coming in. So that's one of the beautiful things about commercial real estate. It does pay you a dividend return. It's also nice to have hard assets. Hard assets benefit from inflation. So as inflation goes up, hard assets float along up with inflation. So you're hedging yourself from a loss in value as the cost of goods and products and services increases over time. Commercial real estate is a tax shelter. You're allowed to write off your mortgage interest payments as an expense. You're able to depreciate the improvements to the property. You can take advantage of cost segregation. You also have the opportunity to use the 1031 tax-deferred exchange. The amortization of the amortization of commercial real estate is a phenomenal opportunity. You know, you imagine this: you borrow $3 million and you have tenants paying that down on an annual basis by $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. So it's like a forced savings account that you're creating by owning a piece of real estate that's being paid for by someone else. Leverage in commercial real estate can be phenomenal. You're able to put down 10, 15, 20, 30% equity, borrow the rest, and when you do that, you are enhancing the return or yield that you're receiving on the money that you put down and put into the deal. The illiquidity of commercial real estate can also be a good thing. It's, let me put it this way. If you're looking to you want to make an impulse purchase, you want to buy that vacation home, you decide to dump your stock, you can do that in seconds and then have your money. Or you can try to sell your commercial real estate. Well, when you go to sell it, you're going to probably spend a little more time thinking about how bad you want to buy that vacation home. So just a pro there on illiquidity. Sometimes it's good to not be able to liquidate your assets quickly. People need and use space. So at the end of the day, you know, I talked about that office example, but at the end of the day, people still need a place to go to work. And what you're going to see over time is trends will change, and people will say, you know what, we really get more done, we're more productive, we work faster when we're live together in a collaborative environment. We're going to talk later in this course about the power of meetings and why it's so important to go on meetings and have networking because of the speed and knowledge that you, the speed of exchange and the knowledge you acquire when you're in meetings. And at the end of the day, it's about control. You know, controlling assets in the marketplace that people want to pay to use. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about commercial real estate. So the course overview, this course is broken into 10 separate modules. We're in the commercial real estate question right now. Session 2 is your why. Session 3, financial targeting. Session 4 is leveraging debt. I want to show you profitably how to use debt. Item 5, we're using working with brokers. Session 6, going offline. Session 7, going online. And 8, commercial foreclosure. Session 9, qualifying the owner. And Session 10, deal analysis. So let's go through some of the course objectives. I think overall, finding the deal, what it really means in a nutshell is that you need to be unique, special, and different. And if you are unique, special, and different in how you approach the market and you define what you're looking for, you're going to stand out just like this purple fish does. And when you stand out like the purple fish, you get noticed. And when you get noticed, it creates an opportunity for you to establish a dialogue. Dialogue leads to deal making. So that's really the crux of what you're going to learn in this course. And we're gonna talk about each module and how we get you there. And the second module is about defining your why. And what the objectives are for this module is that you're going to learn why you develop strategy and then tactics, not the other way around. If you've taken other investing courses, you've probably been lured into these courses by talk of tactics and tricks and tips that you can go out and employ. Well, that's great, but at the end of the day, if those tactics aren't supporting a sound strategy, then all you're doing is turning tricks and you're not actually making progress in building the road that you're trying to build ahead of you to create that financial independence and those cash flows that you're looking for in commercial real estate. So we're going to spend time talking about developing your strategy. You're actually going to create one for yourself, and I'm going to take you through some examples of how to do that. Then you're going to apply the concept of limiting to increase your deal flow. And what this means is that you have to first limit yourself before you can truly see the opportunities you're looking for. Most investors make the mistake of not limiting themselves. And when they don't limit themselves, they look at far too many opportunities and they really don't know which opportunities are right for them. And when they don't know, they get impatient and they make bad deals. So if you can limit yourself and define your target and be very clear about what it is you're looking for, what it needs to do for you and why. When you see it, you'll know. And when you know, you'll move on it and you're going to make money with it. Now, the last thing you're going to learn in your why section is how to create a target type. We're going to look at 4 different boxes that you can use. You can use geography, industry, asset, and or problem. Now, typically what will happen is you're going to combine 1 or 2 of these to define that target. So if you blend a couple together, that's okay. Session 3, we go into financial targeting. And the financial targeting is where you learn how to use CRE Invested's financial targeting tool. In that tool, you can select the right investment measures for you. Now, those investment measures you're going to learn how to calculate, and the ones we're going to touch on are the ones that are most relevant for an investor like yourself: gross rent multiplier, cap rate, cash on cash return, target cap rate, annualized return, and internal rate of return. What you'll find is you're probably not going to use all of these, but you'll choose 1 or 2 that you're most comfortable with. I'm going to show you how to calculate them correctly to help you avoid making mistakes when you're actually looking at qualifying a deal financially for yourself. You're also going to learn to use debt and cash on cash assumptions to give you the right cap rate target for yourself. I can't tell you how many times I see investors out in the market using the cap rate incorrectly. I'm going to show you how to use it correctly, but then I'm also going to give you a tool that you can use to build up a cap rate that's custom built for your investment expectations. In our next module, we cover leveraging debt. And in leveraging debt, you'll learn how to calculate mortgage payments, interest rates, loan amounts, and loan terms using the financial target tool. You'll see how to use debt profitably to leverage your target deals. You'll also apply owner financing models to first and second mortgage structures to design creative deal-making solutions. You'll learn about hard money, transactional funding, and assumptions and non-recourse lending. And then ultimately we'll talk about raising equity and how to keep yourself out of hot water with the SEC. In the next module, Module 5, we talk about working with brokers. What I want you to do is I want you to learn how to sound like a pro when you're dealing with commercial real estate brokers. I'm going to show you what not to say. I'm also going to show you 3 ways to recruit brokers to bring you deals. I'm going to talk about what to look for in a broker for hire, and we're going to learn what industry designations to look for in a broker and why. And then I'm going to show you a copy of a sample representation form you can use when you're going to brokers for help in finding your deals. In Session 6, we talk about offline tactics. So in going offline, we review the top 3 offline tactics that make your phone ring. I don't want to burden you with 10, 15, 20 different tactics because really there are a lot that can work. But what we've done in this course is we've distilled these tactics down to the 3 that are the most effective. And we know these are the most effective because we use them, we test them, and we measure them. You're going to get proven lead generation scripts and letters and tips. We're going to go step by step through winning direct mail tactics. You're going to learn the rule of 3s and how to make it pay dividends in your lead flow. You'll learn how to manage meetings to tap into deal referral networks. And you'll see why establishing a call to action is critical to your success. In Session 7, we'll go online and talk about the 3 online tactics to attract sellers to offer you their properties. We'll talk about where to find owners online. We'll talk about how to use direct mail, blogging, and social media to generate leads. And we'll talk about the one social media networking site that you cannot do deals without, and it's not Facebook. How to avoid noise using authentic communication online to cut through the clutter and to generate lead flow. In Session 8, we talk about commercial foreclosures. I'm going to show you the mechanics of the commercial real estate foreclosure itself. We're going to analyze the pros and cons of distressed note buying versus property investing. We're going to see the 3 notice structures banks like to use and what to look for and how to find them. You're going to learn how to prospect banks for distressed deals and real estate owned using one critical online tool. You'll learn to manage risk when buying at auction and tips on how to plan a flip. In Module 9, we're going to talk about qualifying the owner. You're going to get a 6-step owner qualifying process to uncover seller motivations. You'll learn how to apply the FIFA technique and the 5 whys process to dig into the real reasons the owner's selling. You'll see how to handle multiple owners and work them toward an agreement to sell to you. And you'll also learn how to deliver a solution-based deal to make your investments more profitable. And then in Module 10, we go through an entire deal. This is a case study using the Deal Analyzer tool. You'll take everything you learned from Modules 1 through 9. You'll see all of that in action as an investor sources, qualifies, and purchases a $2.6 million multi-tenant retail plaza generating over $200,000 a year in net income. You'll see how to make a cash flow, hold, or flip decision based on fast-paced market events using the Deal Analyzer tool. You'll discover 3 critical adjustments to make a deal fit your target. And you'll learn how to use the Deal Analyzer tool to qualify your deals and how to make adjustments that lead to a go or no-go decision. So with that being said, we're all set. It's time for us to get started. So let's jump into Module 2.